You're sitting across from someone you deeply care about, but suddenly the look in their eyes changes. It becomes cold, flat, empty. In a matter of seconds, they twist reality so flawlessly, so convincingly, that you find yourself tearfully apologizing for something they did to you. Your heart races, your mind spins. You literally feel like you're losing your grip on sanity. Let me stop you right there. You aren't going crazy. You have just been caught in the crosshairs of one of the most destructive psychological mechanisms known to human behavior. When you hear the word narcissist, you probably picture someone obsessed with their reflection, taking selfies and bragging about their accomplishments. Society has conditioned us to believe that narcissism is simply an overdose of self-love. But that is the greatest lie ever told about this condition. The terrifying truth: a true narcissist doesn't love themselves at all. In fact, they despise themselves with a burning, unconscious hatred. The charming, confident person you fell in love with, or the charismatic boss you admire, they don't actually exist. They are nothing more than a carefully constructed, bulletproof mask designed to hide a black hole of profound shame. And to keep that mask from shattering, they need fuel. And right now, you are the fuel.
Look at this place. You said
But where exactly does this impenetrable mask come from? To understand the psychology of a narcissist, we must look past the arrogance and find the child hiding underneath. Pathological narcissism is not something a person is simply born with. It is forged in the fires of early childhood trauma. Imagine a child who is fundamentally denied unconditional love. In clinical psychology, we usually see this unfold in one of two devastating ways. Either the child is severely neglected, made to feel that they are fundamentally flawed, or paradoxically, they are placed on a golden pedestal. This golden child is treated not as a human being with emotional needs, but as a shiny trophy meant to be perfect. In both extremes, the child learns a heartbreaking lesson. Who I truly am is unlovable. The human mind cannot survive that level of psychological agony. To protect itself, the child's psyche does something extraordinary and tragic. It essentially buries the true self alive, locking away all vulnerability and genuine emotion deep in the subconscious. In its place, the mind constructs a false self. This false self is a phantom. It is everything the child wishes they were: invincible, flawless, and immune to criticism. But here is the catch: because this false self is merely an illusion, a psychological hologram, it has no internal power source. It cannot generate its own self-esteem. When the outside world stops adoring them, the hologram flickers. They are forced to briefly feel the agonizing shame of their buried true self. We call this a narcissistic injury, and to them, it feels like psychological death. But why do they need to break you down? What exactly are they feeding on? If you understand absolutely nothing else about a narcissist, you must understand this one chilling truth. To them, you are not a fully realized human being. You are an appliance. You are a source of what clinical psychologists call narcissistic supply. Remember that psychological hologram we just talked about? That false self requires a massive, unrelenting amount of external energy just to exist. Supply is the oxygen for their delusion. It is anything that feeds the false self and keeps their buried, agonizing shame at bay. Usually, it starts with positive supply. They crave your adoration, your applause, your money, your status, and your unconditional love. As long as you're pouring your light into them, they feel godlike and invincible. But here is the terrifying part that leaves so many victims utterly confused and broken. To a starving emotional vampire, positive and negative energy taste exactly the same. When the compliments and adoration are no longer enough to fill their bottomless void, they will happily extract negative supply. Your fear, your frustration, your desperate apologies, and your tears. All of it serves the exact same purpose. It proves that they exist. It proves that they have power and absolute control over another human being. If they can make you cry, if they can make you lose your temper, they feel superior. You become the chaotic, unstable one, while they get to play the calm observer. They are literally draining your life force to inflate their own. You are pouring your heart into a bucket with a massive hole in the bottom, and when you run dry, the real nightmare begins. So, how exactly do they extract this supply? They do it through a brutal, predictable, three-stage cycle. Stage 1 is idealization, widely known as love bombing. When a narcissist first targets you, they study you like a predator studying its prey. They mirror your hopes, your deepest insecurities, and your unspoken dreams. They shower you with grand gestures, relentless attention, and promises of a perfect future. It feels intoxicating. You finally feel seen, understood, and cherished like never before. You think you have met your soulmate, but here is the devastating human truth. You haven't met your soulmate, you have met your own reflection. They are simply mirroring your best qualities back to you to get you hooked. They are flooding your brain with dopamine, creating a powerful chemical addiction. But remember, that false self is a bottomless pit. No matter how much unconditional love you pour into it, it is never enough. Eventually, they get bored or they perceive a microscopic slight. This triggers stage 2, devaluation. Suddenly the mask slips. The person who once thought you were flawless now finds nothing but faults in you. The warmth is replaced by a chilling silence. They withdraw affection. They criticize your appearance, your job, the way you laugh. You are left reeling in the dark, desperately trying to figure out what you did wrong. You double your efforts. You apologize for things you didn't even do, bending over backward just to get a glimpse of that love-bombing phase again. You're trapped in a cycle of intermittent reinforcement, holding on to the ghost of the person you first met. Finally comes stage 3, the discard. Once they have completely drained your emotional battery, or the moment they secure a shiny, new source of supply, they will drop you. And they will do it with a cold, terrifying lack of empathy. They will walk away as if the years you spent together meant absolutely nothing. Because to the false self, they didn't. You were simply an appliance that stopped working. But why didn't you just leave? If you have survived a narcissistic relationship, this is the question that haunts you. It is the question that society weaponizes against you. And frankly, it is the question that makes you hate yourself. But here is the profound, scientifically proven truth that you need to hear right now. You did not stay because you were weak. You stayed because your brain was fundamentally hacked. When you're subjected to the unpredictable abuse cycle, your nervous system is thrown into absolute chaos. During the devaluation phase, your body is flooded with cortisol, the stress hormone. You are kept in a constant state of high alert, walking on eggshells, desperate for relief. Then just when you think you cannot take another second of the cruelty, the narcissist tosses you a breadcrumb of affection. They smile at you. They give you a fleeting glimpse of the person who love-bombed you. In that exact millisecond, your brain releases a massive, overwhelming surge of dopamine. This extreme swing from sheer terror to intense relief creates what clinical psychology calls a trauma bond. Your body becomes chemically addicted to the cycle of pain and rescue. Leaving them is not like a normal breakup. Biologically speaking, it is exactly like withdrawing from a heavy narcotic. And while your body is fighting a chemical addiction, your mind is being torn apart by cognitive dissonance. You are forced to hold two completely contradictory realities in your head at the exact same time. One half of your brain knows the terrifying truth. This person is intentionally hurting you, lying to you, and destroying your peace. But the other half of your brain is screaming in denial, desperately clinging to the illusion of the false self you originally fell in love with. You're constantly making excuses for the monster in front of you just to protect the ghost of the person you thought you knew. That internal war is exhausting. It is paralyzing, and it is exactly why you felt like you were losing your mind. Not all narcissists are loud, boastful CEOs or obsessed Instagram models. If you are only looking for that loud stereotype, you might completely miss the monster sitting right next to you. In clinical psychology, we generally categorize narcissism into 3 distinct faces, and the most dangerous ones always hide in plain sight. Understanding these subtle differences is the first crucial step to protecting your own peace. First, there is the overt narcissist. This is the classic textbook stereotype. They are grandiose, blatantly arrogant, and genuinely believe they are the smartest person in every single room. They demand special treatment and throw adult tantrums when they are denied it. They are exhausting, but at least you can see them coming from a mile away. But then there is the covert narcissist. This is where the psychological manipulation gets truly insidious. Covert narcissists are often shy, introverted, and outwardly self-deprecating. They do not demand the shining spotlight. Instead, they play the perpetual victim. Their grandiosity is perfectly hidden behind a heavy martyr complex. They believe they are exceptionally special because they are the most misunderstood, the most burdened soul in the world. They trap you in a web of guilt, making you feel entirely responsible for their endless misery. They will weaponize their vulnerabilities to drain your empathy completely dry, manipulating through pity rather than intimidation. If you share a personal struggle, they instantly overshadow it with their own. Finally, there is the malignant narcissist. This is the darkest, most terrifying end of the spectrum, closely bordering on psychopathy. They don't just need admiration, they actively enjoy causing you pain. If you challenge them, they will systematically destroy your reputation, your career, and your sanity. Or how do they maintain this elaborate illusion of superiority while actively destroying you? To keep you trapped, a narcissist utilizes a highly sophisticated, invisible arsenal of psychological warfare. You must learn to recognize these dark weapons before they completely dismantle your sense of self. The first and undeniably the most devastating weapon is gaslighting. Gaslighting is not simply lying to cover up a careless mistake. It is a methodical, calculated campaign of reality distortion. It is a psychological assault designed to make you question your own memory, your perception, and ultimately, your sanity. When you confront them with a cold, hard fact, they won't just deny it. They will look you dead in the eyes and say, "I never said that." You're imagining things again. Your memory's terrible. You're acting completely crazy. Over time, this psychological water torture wears down the solid stone of your mind. You slowly stop trusting your own eyes and ears. You surrender your grip on reality to them. And the terrifying truth is this: when they control what you believe is real, they absolutely control you. But what happens when their own flaws become too obvious to hide? This leads us to their second weapon, projection. Because a narcissist is utterly incapable of processing internal shame or admitting fault, they must literally vomit their toxic traits onto you. If they are secretly cheating, they will relentlessly accuse you of being unfaithful. If they are chronic liars, they will brand you as a liar. If they feel deeply insecure, they will tell you that you are suffocating and overly needy. It is a brilliant, twisted defense mechanism. It allows them to remain completely flawless in their own minds, while forcing you to stay desperately on the defensive. But what happens when you finally catch them red-handed? When you have undeniable proof of their betrayal? A normal person would feel immense guilt and apologize. A narcissist deploys their ultimate defensive maneuver, DAVO. It stands for deny, attack, and reverse victim and offender. Imagine you catch them sending highly inappropriate texts to someone else. First they deny, "That's not what that means, you are misreading it." Then they immediately attack. Why are you secretly going through my phone? You are insanely controlling and deeply invasive.
Why would you say that?
Finally, they seamlessly reverse the victim and offender. I only talk to them because you're always so cold to me lately. You're suffocating me. I am the actual victim of your toxic jealousy. In the span of 60 seconds, you went from presenting hard evidence of their infidelity to tearfully apologizing for being a terrible partner. It is psychological judo, and it is brutally effective. And if you dare to stand your ground, they will unleash their final weapon, the flying monkeys. A narcissist rarely operates alone. They will systematically recruit your mutual friends, your co-workers, and even your own family members to do their dirty work. They will spin a tragic narrative, painting themselves as the innocent martyr and you as the unstable, crazy abuser. These flying monkeys will pressure you, guilt trip you, and isolate you until you feel entirely cut off from the rest of the world. The profound loneliness of being alienated by your own support system is exactly what the narcissist counts on to desperately drag you back into the dark. So, how do you defeat an entity that feeds entirely on your emotional reactions, systematically twists your reality, and feels absolutely no empathy for your profound pain? You don't play their game. The hardest pill to swallow in narcissistic abuse recovery is this heartbreaking truth. You cannot outsmart a narcissist. You cannot love them enough to magically heal their core childhood wound. And you can absolutely never expect closure, genuine accountability, or an honest apology from them. Waiting for them to understand your pain is a dangerous trap that will keep you locked inside their psychological prison forever. The only proven way to win is to systematically starve the parasite. If you cannot immediately escape the situation, say you are dealing with a toxic co-parent, a boss, or a family member you cannot cut off yet, you must ruthlessly master the grey rock method. To survive, you must train yourself to become as boring, unreactive, and incredibly dull as a literal grey rock sitting on the ground. When they attempt to aggressively provoke you, when they launch baseless accusations, or when they try to reel you back in with fake affection, you do not argue. You do not passionately defend yourself. And above all, you do not show any emotion. You simply respond with short, monotonous, completely deadpan answers. Okay, I hear what you're saying. That is simply your perspective. We can discuss this later. Remember, you are just an appliance to them. And right now, you are intentionally unplugging yourself. When you stop providing the emotional reactions they desperately crave, when you completely stop yielding their narcissistic supply, the narcissist will eventually become frustrated, get utterly bored, and be forced to seek a shiny new emotional source to feed their endless void. But the ultimate goal, the only true path to healing and reclaiming your sanity, is no contact. You must completely remove their access to your life. Block their number, block their social media, and walk away entirely. Not as a punishment to them, but as vital protection for your own mind. Leaving a narcissist is never like a normal breakup. It is like exiting a psychological cult while recovering from a severe addiction. You will experience painful withdrawals. You will desperately miss the ghost from the love-bombing phase. But in those dark moments, you must gently remind yourself that the person you mourn never actually existed. It was always a mirage. Your deep empathy, your profound ability to love, is a beautiful gift. It is exactly what makes you wonderfully human. Do not let it be weaponized against you by a phantom trying to fill an unfillable void. You survived the devastating storm. Now it is time to rebuild your beautiful reality. Trust your intuition again. Guard your precious energy. And remember this, the heavy mask has finally fallen, and you can clearly see the warm light of dawn breaking through the cold darkness. If the algorithm brought you here today, maybe it wasn't an accident. If you recognize someone in this video, or if you recognize the silent pain in yourself, please know you're not crazy and you're never alone. Let's talk about it in the comments below. Share your story, because your experience might be the exact validation someone else desperately needs today. If this video helped you feel seen, hit the subscribe button so we can continue building this safe space to heal together. I will see you in the next one.